Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to be doing a trying new makeup. I just want to sit down and chat and try out some new products. And I'm going to be doing more of a soft glam, very glowy look. I have a lot of dewy products and cream products. I want to demo the YSL. This is the Nude Bare Look Tint. I did an ad with them on Instagram, but I haven't shown this on my channel. And I want to show you how I use it and why I like it, as well as the brand new e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. So I thought we would test that out. I also have this Wander Beauty Lip and Cheek. This is a cream blush that is so pretty, this color. I just really want to dive into. For the eyes, I'm going to keep it neutral, play around with the Artist Couture Supreme Nudes, the Quickie palette. I hauled this in a recent haul, but I haven't used it on camera. I have some new lip products from e.l.f. as well. These are their glossy lip stains, as well as some lip liners. And then I want to continue to play with this Lunar Beauty palette. I don't really have a new bronzer, so I thought I would use this. And I also have the Aether Beauty Supernova Crushed Diamond Highlighter. I've used this one time, not sure my thoughts. So just a bunch of products. We'll kind of throw some more in the mix. Not sure exactly what I'm gonna do for lips. I kind of just see where the look takes me and we go from there. So those are just some of the products I'll be using today. Of course, I will link everything I talk about today down below in my description box. If you enjoy these trying new makeup videos, please give this video a thumbs up. If you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe, and let's go ahead and begin. So I went ahead and zoomed you in. Let's start off on an eye look. So I'm going to be taking the Artist Couture, the Quickie Supreme Nudes palette. So this is essentially a smaller version of their Supreme Nudes, which was a huge success for them. So I'm going to start off with this shade right here, which is like a warm peachy transition shade. I'm not going to do anything too crazy on the eyes today. I really want to focus on the skin. Okay, you can see how pigmented this is. I've used this a couple times. Very, very pigmented. So I am just going to blend this into the crease. So how was everybody's holidays? I know we had Christmas and then we also had New Year's. I did nothing for New Year's. I was asleep early. I was like, you know what? Starting the year off rested. I just had zero desire to like go out or do anything. Ian and I played a couple just games at home, but other than that, we just kind of hung out. I just can't believe that it is 2022. It's really wild how time flies. So this shade, I have to say, translates a lot more pigmented on the eyes than I would have thought, which is a nice thing because when you look in the pan, to me it almost looks like very light, like a light peach, but on the eye, you're gonna get quite a bit of color. So what are you guys most excited about in terms of makeup releases? I know I've had a lot of requests to review the new Rare Beauty, and I was like kind of hemming and hawing just because I really don't think that I will love it. I don't use cream bronzers all that often, and I'm trying to, I don't want to be wasteful, I guess, because if it's not like super, super requested by you guys, I don't want to buy products that I know that I'm not going to use really after I review them. But I did get a shipping notification from Rare Beauty, and I have gotten PR from them, but I've never gotten anything like new. Usually I just get like their older products that I already purchased. So if that does come, then I'm definitely going to be reviewing it. It was just one of those things that I had heard the powder has like a luminosity to it, and to me that immediately is like not going to be my favorite for my T-zone. And then also I just don't use cream bronzers and contours often. So as you can see in this palette, there's 3 different shimmers. You have almost like this grungy bronze color, then you have a gold, and then you have a pink. I'm actually going to use this Aether Beauty. This is the Supernova Crushed Diamond Highlighter. This I used on my face and it's very glittery, but look how intense that is. I just really don't know if the pink is the vibe that I'm going for. So I'm actually going to just use this on my lid. I don't know if I love this as a highlighter, but it's beautiful on the eyes. So now I'm going to go back into the Artist Couture palette into this deepest shade called Mink. And I'm just going to use a small brush. I think I am going to wet it. And I'm just going to do a wing. All right, I switched brushes. Cleaning up underneath, that's how I really sharpen my wing. So I don't really, you know, get nervous if I mess it up. All right, so I went ahead and finished my wings, and I am going to put a generous coat of my Lily Lashes mascara on. This is like my favorite mascara. I just mentioned it in the best of the year. So that is a mascara. I did about just 2 coats, but it really does a lot for my lashes. And if I wasn't gonna wear any falsies, I would curl my lashes again once it dries down. So for lashes, I wanna use these outer corner lashes I purchased from Glamnetic. This is in the style Princess. I do have to trim them just a little bit, but I'm gonna be using the liner duo that I raved about in my Best of Beauty. I'm gonna use the brown side, and I just put like 2 coats on and then stick the lashes on, and I find that they hold really well, especially if you use outer corner lashes. Usually when my lashes lift, it's always in the inside of the lash, so outer corner lashes seem to last longer in general. So I went ahead and applied a couple coats, and I'm just going to now stick the lash on. Okay, now I want to move on to complexion. I don't know why my nose is so red. I have red skin, but I'm looking in the monitor, like my nose just looks so red, so not sure why that's happening. But I'm gonna go in with my Dominique Cosmetics moisturizer just to hydrate the skin. I'm almost out of this. This was a collaboration with Jadey Wadey. It's just like a really light moisturizer. Okay, now I want to go into the new e.l.f. primer. This is the Power Grip Primer. They sent this over in PR. I just got the package. It says, apply evenly to face before makeup using your fingertips to pat into skin. The warmth of your fingers will help the product melt into skin for even application. Allow 30 seconds to set before applying makeup. Essentially, this is supposed to be a dupe for the Milk Hydro Grip. So I'm just going to pump some out. This is what it looks like. I'm noticing like a small scent. It is definitely thick like the Milk Hydro Grip. We have NASCAR Teddy outside, fucking just, you know, doing the norm. I swear, like, I've noticed recently how annoying the sounds are when I'm trying to film. Even if you guys can't hear them as much, like, it bothers me so much when like a car speeds by like that, and it happens literally all day. It's like the same handful of people. So it's been about 30 seconds. It definitely has that sticky feel, very much like the Milk Hydro Grip, so I'm curious to see how this will wear. I want to go in next with the YSL New Bare Look Tint. So I did an ad with them on Instagram. I purchased these products, I would say 5 or 6 weeks ago. I got to try them out for a couple weeks, and then we did an ad. I was actually shocked how much I loved this. This is one of those skin tints I can actually use my fingers and it doesn't get streaky. Now I don't know with a sticky tacky primer underneath if that would make it blotchy, but I have the shade 8, which is like my self-tan shade, and I love it so much I actually purchased 5. So I probably am going to mix both of these shades today. So because I want a little bit more coverage than I typically would with this product, I'm using a brush. Okay, so I mixed the shades, but I think I'm gonna go more in with 8 just because it matches my self-tan. I feel like mixing them made it a little too light. So you can see right off the bat, it is giving me some coverage. Definitely not gonna be like full coverage, but it definitely does enough to just help even out my redness and my acne scarring. Okay, so I don't have a new concealer. I'm gonna go ahead and use my ABH Magic Touch. So this skin tint is more of a everyday kind of product for me. So I'm just setting with my Huda Beauty powder in my T-zone. And then I'm gonna go into my Dior powder. This is in the shade 2. This is the lighter shade that I picked up. And I'm just gonna use my Beauty Blender Power Pocket Puff to really set this. I love to use this powder and this Beauty Blender Puff with really dewy products, which obviously this YSL is a skin tint. It's very glowy, but I always like to set things down. So to make sure that it doesn't transfer or lift, this is like foolproof, where you can just kind of press it in and it sets it down, but it's not gonna lift. Whereas sometimes I find with like a fluffy brush or other powders, it basically just lifts just because skin tints don't want to stick down. I notice a lot on my nose too. They don't want to stick to my nose for some reason. Okay, now I want to add some dimension to the face. I'm going to be using the Lunar Beauty Outer Dimension palette. I used this in a previous video, but I've just been continuing to play around with it. I mostly mixed these two shades just to give me a bronze. So I'm going to go ahead and mix them together. So I want to do highlighter next because this highlighter is a little bit finicky. I don't know if I love it as a highlighter, but I want to demo it. This is the Aether Beauty highlighter, and it's just very glittery, like really high shine. So I'm just going to take a really little bit and sort of tap off. And I don't know if you can see, but it's like glitter particles on the skin. It's just not my favorite because I feel like it just looks like patchy glitter. I mean, it definitely is blinding, but I feel like it just looks like glitter fallout almost. So for me personally, I just prefer this more so on the eyes just because I'm not loving just like the glitter particles. It just looks really glittery and it's not smooth looking. So I'm going in now with my Dior Backstage palette. I just cannot get enough of this. Like, this is one of my favorite products of all time. Okay, so now for the cheeks, I really want to play them up, and I'm going to be using this Wander Beauty Double Day Lip and Cheek. This is essentially just a cream blush. Look how beautiful this color is. I've tried this formula in one other color. I don't really understand the bottom just because it's like a clear balm, and I wouldn't use that. I'm assuming to tap on the tops of your cheekbones, but that's not really my vibe. So I'm just going to use the cream blush. So I just went ahead and grabbed some, and then I'm going to pat it on the back of my hand first, just so we don't get too much. Okay, that's really pretty. It almost is coming off a little more, I would say, pink on the skin. Is that what you guys see? I see like a pink, I don't know. It's not as like red as I would have thought. I'm just gonna go straight off the back of my hand because it's pigmented. And then I am gonna take some over my nose. And then just to calm things down, I'm going to lightly tap in to that Dior powder. And just sort of press over top. That blush is gorgeous though. And then I'm just gonna go back in a little bit with my Dior palette. Okay, so I absolutely am in love with that blush. I wanna go in next and finish off with lips. So this is new from e.l.f. It is the Love Triangle Lip Filler Liner. There's 3 different shades. This first shade is called Mauve, right here. And then we have the shade Soft Pink, which might work, although I don't really love pink lip liners. I really don't know why. The last one is called Light Brown, and they're sort of like triangled, so they're kind of like the Patrick Ta. I might go in with that one. The formula feels a little bit drier, so I'm interested to see how this applies. So I am gonna go in with the light brown to start. So this formula is pretty dry. You kind of have to like really push down to get the pigment. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but they're not as pigmented as like other brands that I like. And then for lipstick, we have these new lip products from e.l.f. So I think they're like a glossy stain. The first shade here I have is Power Mauve. Well, that doesn't really look like a mauve, but that might go with what we're wearing. I also have the shade Basic Beige, which is definitely more sheer, and it's just more of like a peachy color. I wouldn't really call that beige. And then the last shade is Pinkies Up. Okay, so that's weird how these are much more sheer than this shade. I'm not really sure why, but I think I'm gonna go in with the mauve one, which is called Power Mauve. Again, it's not really a mauve, but So they do leave a stain. You can see the one that I put on has quite a bit of a stain here. The second one, not so much, and then really nothing on the third. This is essentially the same formula or very similar to the glossy lip stains from ColourPop. It feels nice and comfortable on the lips, and I like the shade. I wonder how long that glossy effect would hang on. So to finish off the look, I'm just gonna go ahead and add some freckles with my Freck pen. I tend to really love the flush cheeks with a little bit of freckles around my nose. So I just sort of apply them and then just use my finger to tap around. Okay, so I went ahead and fixed my hair, and I want to go in and finish off with one of these lip glosses from Alamar Cosmetics. This is in the shade Mommy Spice. These smell so good, but they're very thick if you don't like sticky. These are super high shine. I love the colors they have, but they are very thick and they are tacky. I don't mind that. They're very much like a MAC lip gloss, but I like the high shine finish, and I like that they're not moving all over the place. They're gonna last a little bit longer than a gloss that's not sticky at all. All right, guys, so here's my finished makeup look, trying a bunch of products out, and I wanna go over my thoughts. Starting out with the Artist Couture palette. I think it's super cute. I love that it's compact. There's not a ton of shades, but you do still have options, whether you wanna go more cool or warm, and these shades pack a punch. Like, even though they look very light, they're very pigmented. I love that you have the options to go deep or do a smoky wing like I did. So I think this is a really cute palette. I'm really glad that I picked it up. Obviously loving the Glamnetic lashes and the liner duo. I just think it makes it so easy and effortless to throw your lashes on and be done. So highly recommend that. In terms of the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, I'll have to keep trying it out. I want to see if it prolongs the wear on my YSL tint. The YSL tint does wear pretty well, especially for a skin tint. I can wear it for a good 8 or 9 hours and just have to touch up every, 4 or 5 hours. I do tend to get oily in my T-zone, so it's really nothing, new, but it doesn't break up on me, so I really love it. But it's just a little too new in terms of trying the e.l.f. primer to really see if I notice anything crazy. I will say that my pores look quite nice. Could be the tint, could be this, could be the mixture, but I already knew that I loved the tint. It's just one of those that has enough coverage, but it's not heavy or sticky. I find a lot of the really hydrating foundations like the LYS or even the Tower 28 tinted sunscreen, they're just so thick and they really just make my texture look really, really bad. I don't feel like my texture looks bad at all, especially for a really hydrating tinted moisturizer. Lately, I've been really enjoying this one and also the Beauty Blender Skin Tint. They're just a little bit more forgiving on the texture, so I recommend this if you're looking for an everyday light, medium coverage skin tint. I've been really enjoying it. Still really enjoying the Lunar Beauty Outer Dimension palette. I just really love playing around and mixing the shades, just depending on what I'm looking for. I tend to use these two shades the most, just to bronze or contour, and then I use the lighter shades like down the center of my nose, under my contour. The formula is just very soft, it's smoothing, it doesn't add texture, packaging is gorgeous, so I've really been enjoying that, and I am loving this blush from Wander Beauty. I don't know why nobody talks about this. I feel like in a sea of blushes that came out last year, this one sort of flew under the radar. And I did pick up one shade when these released, and I wore it in an Instagram photo, and it was just so beautiful. And I'm not sure why since then I haven't pulled it out or purchased more, but this newer shade just really drew me in. It looks a little bit more pink on the skin, but honestly, it's stunning. This formula is glowy, but it's not heavy at all, and it goes beautifully over powder. So this is my favorite thing that I tried today. On the other hand, my least favorite thing would probably have to be this highlighter from Aether Beauty. It's just a glitter bomb. When you swatch it, it looks really, metallic and high shine, which it is, but it has so much glitter falling all over that I just don't like it as a highlighter. For me, I would just use it on the eyes, but really I don't use single shadows very often. So this is something that I, regret purchasing a little bit just because I don't know how much use I'll get out of it. I just don't like the look of glitters kind of all over my face. It just looks a little bit messy to me. Of course, still loving my Dior Powder No Powder. I just tend to use this the most with more tinted moisturizers, cream products, so I'm glad that I could demo it for you today. When I typically do my matte full glam looks, I don't reach for this as much just because this is such a staple and special powder that works so beautifully with any cream products. Anything dewy, hydrating, this is gonna be your powder, so I love this. Not super wowed by the e.l.f. lip liner. I just feel like it was almost not pigmented enough, and I was really having to push hard just to get the pigment to fill in my lips. I feel like it's okay, but it's not something I'll reach for again. But I do actually like these glossy stains. I love a stain, you guys know that. So for me, I like that they actually do have a gloss to them, but they leave a stain behind. Although I feel like the names are off. Calling these like mauve and beige, they're mostly just sort of like peachy coral and pink. And interestingly enough, the one that I applied was much more pigmented and left more of a stain. So I don't know what that's about, but I do like the formula. It's very similar to the ColourPop, which I also enjoy. All right, guys, so does everything for this Try New Makeup. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will link all the products that I used today down below in my description box. Let me know what you thought of the products and how they applied, or if you've tried any of these products. If you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.